Oh my, what a pizza pie! Take one bite and you'll say it too. In fact, take one bite of anything they cook at Zoner's Pizza Joint and they've got you. You will immediately taste the difference because they make their dough daily. Use only the finest cheese and top quality meats. Zoner's even cuts their vegetables fresh daily. Combine all that on a crisp crust taste of a stone oven, and in between bites, you'll say, oh my, what a pizza pie! Zoner's Pizza Joint, Forsyth Road, Macon, and Houston Lake Road, Warner Robins.
To be the best, you need the best in hydration and nutrition. You need VitaFuse Sport IV Nutrition.
Hello, I'm Joy Johnson at the Cottages on Wesleyan, inviting you to come see our spacious assisted living suites. Each suite has its own kitchenette, private bathroom, separate bedroom, and living space. We provide meals, housekeeping and laundry services, personal care assistance, and a variety of daily activities. Come by and visit us soon. You'll see why our residents feel at home and why families trust their loved ones to us at the Cottages on Wesleyan.
How do you say, my attorney met with me personally?
Thanks, Lester.
Thanks, Lester.
How do you say, I got the compensation I deserve?
Thanks, Lester. Thanks, Lester.
How do you say, I won my court case?
Thanks, Lester.
谢谢 Lester.
Thanks, Lester. You're a good man.
I am Lester Miller, and I will get you the compensation you deserve.
Thanks, Lester.
He ain't afraid of no one.
Wheezing, itching, runny nose, and coughing. All these symptoms can be caused by allergies, which are very common in Middle Georgia. Airborne allergens can make it difficult to enjoy life around here, like tailgating or attending a ball game. Even that seasonal cold might be due to allergies. Give us a chance to fix that. It's what we do. With multiple locations in and around Macon, we help children and adults with allergies and asthma. We want to be your Middle Georgia allergy team.
Macon Boots is the newest addition to Midtown Macon. With brands like Rocky, Ariete, Georgia Boots, and more, Macon Boots can help you find the boots you're looking for with unbeatable prices.
And welcome in on a Thursday night as we are live at Zoner's Pizza on Forsyth Road. Glad to have you with us here tonight on another Football Friday night as we get ready for another weekend of high school football and another weekend of SEC football. The weather's turned cold, the beard's getting growed back.
There you go.
All in its white glory. That's a little silver in there, I guess. I mean, that says I'm a little healthy. I'm Russell Deese. This is Charlie Crowley from Zoner's Pizza, and we are live at Zoner's on Forsyth Road, and it is cocktail party weekend. It's the Dogs and the Gators, and we're looking forward to talking about it with you here tonight as we get ready for another Pick'em contest. And this week, of course, we are picking Georgia and Florida. We'd love to have your calls at 478-550-0524. Before we get into stuff with Charlie about college football last week and this week, let's go over what?
I got one quick question. Do we have a tie again?
No, we didn't have a tie.
Wow.
No, we did not have a tie this week. Okay, so here's how it works. You call in, you text me, 478-550-0524. We have a pick'em contest every week. This week it's Georgia, Florida. Last week it was, who did we pick last week? What was the game last week? Good Lord. Oh, it was Clemson and North Carolina State. I called that my upset pick of the week. I missed the hell out of that one. So much for 5-1 Wolfpack. Trevor Lawrence for the Clemson Tigers. I'm making a prediction right now. Trevor Lawrence for the Clemson Tigers will win a Heisman Trophy. He's that good. He's that good. I'm telling you, he's going to win a Heisman Trophy. So that was our pick 'em last week. So you call in, you text me, you pick the winner and the score. You cannot go over on the winner's side. That's the biggest deal about it. If the score is 23-10 and you pick 24-10, even though you're 1 point off, your ass is out. Okay, you're gone. So that's the line of demarcation. We have to split it up somewhere, and then after that, it's the closest to the actual score, and we go to a point system, how many points you were off on the winner side, how many points you were off on the loser side. So each week you're going to win big pizza from Charlie here at Zoner's Pizza, and it's delicious, so don't miss that opportunity. And you want to do that dine in or carry out, because when you do, you can come in and register for the Herschel Walker jersey that's going to be given away 2 weeks from tonight.
Yeah, and I can't believe we haven't had a little more participation in that. So whoever's entering is going to have a pretty good chance of winning.
Yeah. So, I mean, you know, dine in or carry out. Come in, sign up for the autographed Herschel Walker jersey. We have the video proof and the photographic proof to prove that it was signed and where it was signed and the date it was signed and yada, 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 all that. So it's got provenance, as they say, or providence, whatever. Provenance, I guess, is the correct word. I don't know. Providence would be God. Well, y'all think he's God. So at any rate, so you dine in or carry out, you can win, come in and register for the Herschel Walker jersey. So the weekly prize winner, if you win that week, then you're going to get DSBN hat and T-shirt, Macon Beer Company beer steins. You're going to get a Macon Beer Company T-shirt. We may have some hats from Macon Boot Company. Charlie's Pizza. We've got some other trinkets we're going to give away every week. We've got about $70 in gift cards from local restaurants, and we've got another $25 in. Well, we got about $80 in gift cards from restaurants. It's $100 worth of stuff. Cherry Blossom Express Car Wash alone, you get a $20 pass to go down there and wash your ride. Charlie bought a brand new truck. It ain't been washed since he bought the damn thing. He's got a free car wash pass. He won't go use it. Go use the car wash pass. I can't stand an ugly truck, and he's got an ugly truck. It's a gorgeous truck, but it's dirty as hell. But so you're going to win all that in just 1 week, and then your name goes in the hat. So think about it now. We started this at the beginning of the season. We're going to go all the way through the national championship game. So you might win 2 times, 1 time, 3 times, 5 times in all the games that we're picking. Each time you win that week, your name goes in the hat again. So at the end of the year, here's what we're giving away. We're giving away VitaFuse, which we'll talk about them. We're going to do something fun and exciting next week. VitaFuse, a 1-year membership with them. And VitaFuse is going to go back retroactively and give all our winners a free VitaFuse IV hydration therapy. So all you guys get ready, because you're going to get an opportunity to enjoy that healthy intake for your body. Okay, so we're going to give it away a year membership for that. Making boots, Jacob Deason down there is going to give away 2 pair of boots. And if you haven't been to this place, go down there and see it. Guys, he's got Ariat. He's got... who else has he got down there? He's got
Red
Georgia
Wings?
Boo, I don't know if he carries Red Wing. He might carry some Red Wing. He carries, it's all high-end stuff. It's all really good stuff. I've owned a couple of pair of Georgia boots in my life. They're as good as you can buy. And so is Ariat, by the way. Now, he's got everything from cowboy boots to work boot to snake-proof boots to hunting boots to relaxing boots, moccasins, all kind of leather goods, and it's a really neat place, so you need to go down there. He's giving away 2 pair of boots. What else do we have? How about Macon Beer Company? Going to give away a $300 home brew kit and lessons with the master brewer down there, fine Auburn guy, so he'll teach you a lot. Then we're going to give away Bill Hard Music's giving away a PV stage guitar kit. It's an acoustic guitar with a stand, a tuner, a strap, a carry case, everything to go to get you on your way to be a rock and roll star. We're going to have that. Charlie's already auditioning with it. What else we got? How about a big green egg from Cherokee Brick and Tile? Our friend Ron Peavy, Mike Peavy rather, gave that to us, and that's a great gift. You ain't never cooked on a big green egg. You're missing out. We need a demo here and do some pizzas on a Big Green Egg. That'd be pretty fun to do.
That'd be interesting, at least.
Yeah, I've had one before. Yeah, it's really good. We throw some of the stones from back there in the oven, and we'd be ready to roll, boy. You can cook steak on those things and cook them and cut them with a spoon. What else? So we got Cherokee brick and tile. Got that. Let me think what else we got. How about a signed football from Nick Chubb when he was in town back in August? Went to see Nick. Signed a football for us. Let's see. Charlie, you made a little corporate trip down to South Georgia. How about a signed football from Herschel Walker? We're going to give that away at the end of the year. Our friends over at Pawn Max, Clay and his group over there, they're going to give away a 12-gauge pump shotgun, home defense shotgun. Well, let's not just say that. They're going to give away 2 home defense 12-gauge shotguns, and they're also going to give away an AR-15 rifle. And then we're going to have all kind of stuff. I'm going to have some knives and some hats and maybe some ammo to go with those weapons, and maybe a little stuff to go with a Big Green Egg, and maybe some stuff to go with the home brew kit, like my own personal mug, so you could call me over and I could, be the official taste tester of the DSBN. We need a DSBN official beer out of that.
There you go.
So
I'll try it.
Yeah. I mean, I'll beer. What's
10 or 12 of them? That's all.
Yeah, that's all I want. Nobody turns down beer welfare. Okay, or bourbon. Do either one. We're down south. So those are all the prizes you can win. So you can call in tonight at 478-550-0524. Tonight we're picking Georgia and Florida. Now, I did something a little different this week. That's the official Pick'em contest. But I threw in another game tonight that is going to be on national TV on ESPNU, I think, or ESPN. Tuesday night, we got to see the Troy State Trojans, go Trojans, take on South Alabama, and Troy leads that conference right now with the best record in the conference. But there's 2 teams right behind them, and that is the Georgia Southern Eagles and App State. And that's an old rivalry since Georgia Southern brought football back. It's been an intense rivalry, and they play tonight on national TV. App State comes in 5-1. Their only loss was in the last 2 or 3 minutes against Penn State on the road at Happy Valley. They
almost won that game.
They should have won that game. They are high-flying, high-potent offense. They're very good on the defensive side of the ball and offensive side of the ball. On the other side, you got Coach Chad Lunsford, and the Georgia Southern Eagles. They've got 1 loss. And they come in 6-1. They got bowl eligible last week. We talked to Terry Harbin, the color man for the Georgia Southern Network, when he was in Las Cruces, New Mexico last Thursday night. And they're getting ready to go on the air here shortly down in Statesboro at Paulson Stadium, the prettiest little stadium in America, as they like to say. And hopefully the rain's held off and maybe the student body shows up tonight. I think it'll be an electric atmosphere down in Statesboro. And I'm telling you, I'm picking Georgia Southern to upset number 25 in the nation. App State is number 25 in the nation now.
Well, let's hope the pick this week is better than last week.
Yeah, let's hope that this week's ready. So anyway, the App State Georgia Southern game is not part of the official pick'em, but if you get it right, I'm going to give you a prize next week, and you're going to enjoy it. I promise you will. I've got some neat stuff to give away that I've been holding back, that I hadn't told anybody.
You're always holding back.
I'm holding back. That's what my wife says. Okay, so I lost my notes here. I had some others, and maybe I'll find them here in a second. But there's what I was looking for. First things first, tomorrow night at George S. Johnson Stadium on the campus of First Presbyterian Day School, we're going to step back in for the Zoners Pizza Game of the Week, and that is going to be at FPD, and it's Tatnall Square Academy taking on their old rivalry, the FPD Vikings, and I believe Tatnall can wrap up their sub-region tomorrow night by winning that game. They have beaten Twiggs, they have beaten Mount LaSalle, they have beaten Stratford. They have 3 losses: Trinity Sharpsburg, which is not in the region; Dublin, which is a AA school, and they lost in overtime to Lincoln County, which is in the other sub-region on the public school side. So Lincoln County was really the only 7A region that they lost. There's Region A and sub-region A and B. So the Trojans, I believe, can wrap it up tomorrow night. Pregame will be 7:15. Kickoff is at 7:30. 30. So your calls tonight, 478-550-0524. If you don't get in to start with, keep dialing. We've only got one phone line right now, so we're working on it. But it'll go good. The Falcons got a win last week, too.
Yeah.
So my token Falcons mentioned for the show.
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
We want to talk college football here.
We're going to talk college football. I do want to remind everybody that the Macon Mayhem has started back in hockey, and we're going to see if we can't get into a little bit of that, too. They've had a really good first 3 seasons in Macon, and we're looking forward to them being back. I think they split last weekend or opening weekend. Lost on Friday, but won on Saturday, so they're 1-1. I do believe they play back in home again this week on Friday and Saturday. We can verify that schedule for you. But tonight, it's all going to be about Georgia and Florida. It's the world's largest outdoor cocktail party, and that's what we're going to talk about.
We don't call it that no more. That is not
right.
Politically
correct
anymore.
You can call it whatever you want. I can just tell you what it is. That's what it is. It's what it'll always be. And they play in the damn Gator Bowl, okay? They don't play in All Turd Stadium or whatever they're calling it now. It's the damn Gator Bowl. Oklahoma and Texas is still the Red River Shootout. It's not the rivalry or
we're going to get
contest.
You politically correct one day.
The hell with that, you are. It ain't never going to happen. Yeah, there's no political correctness at DSPN Sports, I assure you. Okay, so let's go back and look at last week's game. Arkansas got it turned around against Tulsa. Some folks even thought Tulsa might give them a little bit of a problem because they can throw the football around. They kind of got a little bit of that spread run-pass option going. Nah, Arkansas, the Hogs got it done 33-0 is the score in that game. Memphis and Missouri. Now, that was another game that I thought, as well as Memphis has played, that they might give some Missouri a little bit. But Drew Lock finally found his stride last week throwing the football, and they won 65-33. Kentucky and Vanderbilt, it was a battle. We're going to talk about Kentucky and Georgia and Florida here in just a second. Held on to win 14-7. It was ugly. It was at Vanderbilt that night, and once they got through eating all the caviar and brie cheese and drinking the champagne up there at Vandy, I mean, they got around to some football, and Kentucky held on to win 14-7. Kentucky's got to find something to do with their quarterback, though. They may make a change at that position before it's over with.
Do you think Mason might be in trouble at Vanderbilt?
We'll talk about Vanderbilt. I don't know.
It's hard to build a program there.
It's really hard. James Franklin went there and did a good job, kind of made a little bit of a name for himself. And then he left and went up to Penn State. He probably had some of the best teams that Vandy's had in years. I just don't think it matters up there. I mean, it's they want to win, but I mean, they're
not as hardcore about it.
Yeah, they're kind of like Tech. I mean, they can't sell out a home game, and they got a little 50,000, 60,000 seat stadium, and I don't know. The one thing they do have up there is money, and plenty of it. And so. I don't know if they certainly probably have more money than Georgia Tech, but I don't know if that's true or not. Texas is a state-supported school, so. But if Vanderbilt wants to throw some cash around, they're certainly capable of doing so.
Yeah, but I guess you get a James Franklin. Okay, he done pretty well up there. It's hard to get recruits out there. You can't have a 750 on your SATs.
Hell, they're doing it at Stanford, son.
Yeah.
I mean, Stanford don't have no problem putting a good football team on the field.
Maybe there's smarter kids in California.
I don't know. We got a couple of kids. We got a kid out there this year from Stratford Academy here, Toby Umera, that's playing out there, and he's a very smart kid. His father's a doctor, and I need to look up and see how Toby's year has gone for him and see what kind of year he's had. So anyway, Kentucky, the only loss was on the road in College Station that night to Texas A&M. They hold on 14-7. They hang on. They've got Missouri. We'll talk about that this coming week. They have to go to Columbus rather. That might be a problem for them. Are they looking ahead to Georgia? So to finish out the scores last week, LSU hangs on to beat Mississippi State 19-3. Mississippi State threw Fitzgerald
4 interceptions.
4 interceptions and threw for a total of 53 yards on like 23 attempts or something.
What is happening? You couldn't hardly stop that kid last year.
Auburn couldn't stop him this year.
Yeah, you might. I mean, but in every game, he put up good numbers against Alabama.
Yeah, he cannot throw the football. And I look for what's the coach, Joe, that came from Penn State. I look for him to make a change at quarterback over there.
Really?
I really do.
Do you think maybe it's the coaching other than the quarterback, or maybe his injury? Kind of not over the injury.
I think it's a little of both. I don't think he's the right quarterback for the system that they have at that Mississippi State's wanting to put in now. And I think that's, Coach come down. He was the offensive coordinator at Penn State. I just don't think that's what he's wanting to do.
Well, he ran more of a pro-style offense.
Correct.
But, I mean, the Fitzgerald kid, from what I've seen, he can throw the ball.
Well, what I saw last week, he couldn't hit nothing. He was pretty bad last week. But so I don't know. I think there's coming for a change at quarterback. When you throw the ball for 20 attempts and you can't complete but 53 yards of passing, time for coach to look seriously at what you're doing at the quarterback position.
Yeah.
Alabama rolls. The Crimson Tide rolls into Neyland Stadium, and Jeremy Pruitt couldn't do nothing. Alabama was up 28-0 before the end of the first quarter, and it was over from there, and it was 58-21, and then Tua got that knee banged up again. That's 2 times in 3 weeks. If I'm old Coach Joe down there in Baton Rouge, I'm looking heavy at that old knee.
Well, he's got a week to stay off of it, so we'll have to see what happens with that.
Yeah, staying off of it's one thing. Getting a 290-pound defensive end rolling into it's another thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's interesting. There was a guy on the Feinbaum show this week, Darryl from Columbus, big Georgia fan, and he was advocating LSU go after the knee of Tua, intentionally hurt him. Makes you proud, son, don't it?
Might be their only chance to win the game, and of course that would come from a Georgia fan.
Well,
we got a Georgia fan joining us later.
Yeah, we got a Georgia fan that's supposed to be here tonight.
One of the most obnoxious ones, right?
And there he is walking in the door now as we speak. We were just talking about obnoxious Georgia fans when Lucky walked in the door. But so Alabama goes up to the road to Neyland Stadium. They get it done 58-21. Auburn goes on the road to Ole Miss to Oxford. Finally found some offense. Ole Miss cannot find any defense. They scored their 7 points in the last 4 minutes of the football game. Other than that, Auburn held them to 3 field goals, and Auburn gets to win 31-16. I know you're excited about that one.
Yeah, I mean, you were excited that y'all actually won a game.
Yeah, I mean, I just had it on in the background and would walk by and peer at it every now and then because I knew if I sat down and watched it, it would turn ugly. But they finally got it done. All right, so let's talk about this week's matchups. We kick it off at 12 o'clock. It's Vanderbilt at Arkansas. That's on the SEC Network. At 4 o'clock on the SEC Network, it's Kentucky at Missouri. I think that is an interesting game. We'll talk a little bit more about that tonight. 7 o'clock, number 16, Texas A&M. They go on the road to play Mississippi State. I believe that game is on the ESPN Deuce. Tennessee is at South Carolina, and that's not going to be worth watching. Maybe 7:30 p.m. SEC Network. Auburn is off this week. LSU is off this week. Alabama is off this week. Who else is off this week? Maybe Ole Miss is probably off this week. Yes, Ole Miss is off this week. And then the 3:30 game on CBS, of course, is going to be the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. It's the number 7 Georgia Bulldogs taking on the number 9 Florida Gators. All right, anything last week that caught your eye that surprised you or you want to talk about that you think is
How about the whooping Ohio State took?
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that one. Speaking of ass whippings, so wife's out of town up in Dahlonega celebrating kids'
You're running
birthdays.
around the house naked.
Me and the dogs, we're just letting everything hang out. I grilled a steak and a big old baked potato. Had me
ate it naked.
Ate it. No, I can't do that. I'm afraid I'll spill something hot on me. So I get there on the couch. It's late. It's 7:30, 8 o'clock. I get the food done. Next thing you know, I fall asleep. So I fall asleep. So for some reason, the dog did something or it kind of woke me up, and I looked up and the TV was on. It was 10.
Well, you were naked. What could the dog have
no,
done?
I wasn't naked. I wasn't naked. It was 10. It was 10:05, and anyway,
I started
my wife and them, they went up for my daughter's birthday, and we told her happy birthday last week. But it was her 21st birthday, and they had the Gold Rush Festival going on in Dahlonega, which is the oldest first gold mine in the eastern United States, and they have this every year. It's a huge festival up there. My daughter's at University of North Georgia. So I'm snoozing. I wake up 5 after 10, and I look up, and it's Missouri and Ohio State, and I'm just kind of looking at the TV. Purdue, and the game zone.
You need to study more.
And Purdue is up by 2 touchdowns. Yeah. And I'm looking at the TV, and my eyes are, it doesn't register with me that they're winning.
I was texting you there.
Yeah. So, well, maybe it was you texting me that woke me up. But anyway, I'm going, what in the world is this?
I'm good for something.
And then, so I sat there, and he and I are sitting there texting till after midnight, I think. All the games are going on, and we're still talking about it. I think we were talking on the phone, too. We were doing our own play-by-play in my living room and his living room. But it was amazing. I mean, the look on Urban Meyer's face was probably second only as big of an enjoyment as far as entertainment goes, second only to watching MSNBC and CNN on election night in 2016. Those are probably 2 most entertaining moments of my life in the last 2 years. But anyway, they just put it on them. I mean, there wasn't nothing fancy about it. They ran the ball right at them.
Yeah, and they threw the ball effectively, and they just played a good ball game. It wasn't they came up with some big plays on defense when Ohio State would get in the red zone, but they played a good ball game.
Well, it was a good ball game, and I mean, from their and then of course the kid that had cancer that was determined to live long enough to go to school at what we're doing. So we're doing that. So anyway, we're going to take a commercial break. We'll be back after this.
Oh my, what a pizza pie. Take one bite and you'll say it too. In fact, take one bite of anything they cook at Zoner's Pizza Joint and they've got you. You will immediately taste the difference because they make their dough daily. Use only the finest cheese and top quality meats. Zoner's even cuts their vegetables fresh daily. Combine all that on a crisp crust taste of a stone oven, and in between bites, you'll say, oh my, what a pizza pie. Zoner's Pizza Joint, Forsyth Road, Macon, and Houston Lake Road, Warner Robins.
To be the best, you need the best in hydration and nutrition. You need VitaFuse Sport IV Nutrition.
Hello, I'm Joy Johnson at the Cottages on Westland, inviting you to come see our spacious assisted living suites. Each suite has its own kitchenette, private bathroom, separate bedroom, and living space. We provide meals, housekeeping and laundry services, personal care assistance, and a variety of daily activities. Come by and visit us soon. You'll see why our residents feel at home and why families trust their loved ones to us at the Cottages on Westland.
How do you say, my attorney met with me personally?
Thanks, Lester.
Thanks, Lester.
How do you say, I got the compensation I deserve?
Thanks, Lester. Thanks, Lester.
How do you say, I won my court case?
Thanks, Lester.
谢谢 Lester.
Thanks, Lester. You're a good man.
I am Lester Miller, and I will get you the compensation you deserve.
Thanks, Lester.
He ain't afraid of no one.
Wheezing, itching, runny nose, and coughing. All these symptoms can be caused by allergies, which are very common in Middle Georgia. Airborne allergens can make it difficult to enjoy life around here, like tailgating or attending a ball game. Even that seasonal cold might be due to allergies. Give us a chance to fix that. It's what we do. With multiple locations in and around Macon, we help children and adults with allergies and asthma. We want to be your Middle Georgia allergy team.
Macon Boots is the newest addition to Midtown Macon. With brands like Rocky, Ariat, Georgia Boots, and more, Macon Boots can help you find the boots you're looking for with unbeatable prices. Whether it's boots for work, everyday wear, or maybe boots are just your thing, we have a whole selection from America, Canada, and Australia. While you're here, make sure to check out our authentic belt buckles, handmade knives, genuine leather wallets, and much more that you can only find at Macon Boots. We fit Macon.
Crosby Roofing is more than just a roofing company. It's a family-owned company with deep roots in Middle Georgia. Since 1989, Crosby Roofing has been the source of quality roofing in Middle Georgia. Inspections and estimates are always free, commercial or residential. No job is too big or too small. You can trust Crosby Roofing for a clean job site, no upfront fees, and a lifetime warranty on shingles. Discounts for senior citizens. Crosby Roofing, quality you can look up to.
Do you want to win? Do you want to crush the competition? Do you really want it? To be the best, you need the best in nutrition. You need VitaFuse Sport. VitaFuse Sport provides IV hydration, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids for serious athletes. Our infusions are nearly 100% absorbed compared to only 20% of oral supplements. So whether you are trying to win a championship, set a new personal best, or just want to perform better and recover faster, VitaFuse Sport was developed for you.
I am Lester Miller, and if you've been in an accident or hurt on the job, I want to work for you. My office is right across the street from the Bibb County Courthouse, and it doesn't end there. Middle Georgia is my home. I graduated from high school here, college, and Mercer Law School. My family goes to church here. My kids go to school here. I work hard for my community, and when you need an attorney, I will personally take your call.
Thanks, Lester.
And I will work hard for you too.
Contact Lester Miller today for your free consultation.
Wheezing, itching, runny nose, and coughing. All these symptoms can be caused by allergies, which are very common in Middle Georgia. Airborne allergens can make it difficult to enjoy life around here, like tailgating or attending a ball game. Even that seasonal cold might be due to allergies. Give us a chance to fix that. It's what we do. With multiple locations in and around Macon, we help children and adults with allergies and asthma. We've teamed with Mercer, and we'd be happy to team with you. Go Bears!
Crosby Roofing is more than just a roofing company. It's a family-owned company with deep roots in Middle Georgia. Since 1989, Crosby Roofing has been the source of quality roofing in Middle Georgia. Inspections and estimates are always free, commercial or residential. No job is too big or too small. You can trust Crosby Roofing for a clean job site, no upfront fees, and a lifetime warranty on shingles. Discounts for senior citizens. Crosby Roofing, quality you can look up to.
You can tell everything you need to know about a man by the boots he wears. They tell his story. They let you know he works hard and plays hard. Macon Boots at 3182 Vineville Avenue carries Georgia Boot, Redback, Rocky, Durango, and more. From safety toe, chemical proof, waterproof, and snake proof to hunting, casual, and western, Macon Boots delivers only the highest quality in boots, belts, wallets, and hats to help tell any man's story. Open Monday through Saturday from 9 to 6. Follow Macon Boots on Facebook and at maconboots.com. Macon Boots. We fit Macon.
Before you put your company logo or event name on the streets, say it with authority. Apparel Authority. Now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's. Shirts, hats, cups, pens, patches, we put your logo on almost anything. Our team provides quality craftsmanship and custom embroidery, and our screen printing will turn your design into wearable works of art. Call or stop by in person for a quote. Apparel Authority, now at a new location off Eisenhower Parkway across from Lowe's.
Hey folks, Russell from Gridiron Game of the Week. When you get ready to buy a new car or a newer automobile, there's always the dilemma of what to do with your current car. Well, that's where You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em at 3306 Vineville Avenue comes in. You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em is the original automobile dealership with the owner in mind. For 18 years, You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em has been the only alternative to giving your car to a local dealer on a trade-in or trying to market your car yourself. So when you get ready to sell your old car, give them a call today at 254-6310. That's You Park 'Em, You Sell 'Em, 3306 Vineville Avenue. We are live here at Zoner's Pizza, and I can get the commercial off the screen here in just a second, and I think it will be. Let's see if we can make sure that we're live here, and we are. At any rate, we want to welcome in our guest picker this week. You know him as BB Dog and Dog Deck Live on Facebook. Brett Barron, good to have you with us, brother.
Hey, man. Great to be back. It's been a while.
It's been a while.
Too
Glad
long.
to have you with us. You were on the road down in Baton Rouge last week. Without necessarily talking about the game, talk about the trip a little bit. That's a fun place to go see a football game.
We had a blast. We took almost a week. We went to Mobile the first night, got to Baton Rouge on Friday, stayed at the Hilton downtown, which was an awesome hotel. Partied all day with my brother and his son, a little outdoor cafe bar. LSU fans coming up, just having a good old time. I tell you, tailgating's great, but going on the road is a little bit more special, and that's what Dawn and I are doing, is getting these bucket list road trips, kind of going. And that Friday night was really something, because me and my buddy Gary Buckler were upstairs in our rooms, and we're walking down the hall, and he goes, "You know who that is, don't you?" I said, "No, I didn't pay attention." He goes, "That's Gary Danielson." So I went, I don't.
Y'all staying in the high rent district.
I'm not sure. So I go chasing him down. I said, "Hey, Gary, I'm Brett Barron, blah, blah, blah." Just met him for a couple of minutes. He was very nice. So we go back down to the downstairs bar, and there's a cool little jazz band playing, and we're all huddled up having a good time. And then Bechtel goes again, "Do you know who that guy at the bar is, don't you?" I said, "No, that's Brad Nussler." I said, "Well, I went up there, and I've got pictures with him and everything." He was a great guy. We probably talked for an hour.
Wow.
Just had drinks together and had a ball. And then the next morning, we're waiting on an Uber ride to go to the tailgate area. And him and Gary come down in their, ties and their suits and all, getting ready to go to the game.
Sure.
I walked right up to him. He said, "Hey, BB Dog, how you doing?" It was pretty good. I made an impression on Brad Nussler.
Well, okay.
It was fun. It was
That's
absolutely
on your
fun.
bucket list thing. You mark off.
It was a lot of fun.
So went to the game, had a good game, a good time at the game, obviously, and the tailgate and all that afterward. Question, LSU fans behave themselves for the most part?
Well, yeah, you probably seen the video at the end of it.
No.
If you Google it, or I don't know how you can get to it. Somebody sent me a Facebook thing. It's the student section. It's X-rated, I'd say.
Oh yeah. No, it's a different atmosphere out there. I want to remind everybody tomorrow night our Zoner's Pizza Wings and Waffles game of the week. We'll be at George S. Johnson Stadium on the campus of First Presbyterian Day School. And our game tomorrow night will be Tatnall Square Academy as they take on FPD in a Region 7A and Single A. Game tomorrow night, big game for Tatnall. They got a sub-region on the line tomorrow night. I believe they will, with a victory, they could capture that region, and then a crossover game coming next week on the other side, that Region 7. They'd have to go play somebody on the other side for Game 10. So that is our game. 7:15 is our pregame. 7:30 is our kickoff. We'll hope you join us. Remember, you can watch it live on Facebook on our network page, DSPNSports.com, and you can follow the link to YouTube. If you can't make it out to the game, well, just put us on the Smart TV or the Roku or the Chromecast or the Apple TV, and you can watch it in the comfort of your own home on your big screen TV. So that's where we'll be tomorrow night. All right, looking around last week, Brett, in the conference, Arkansas, no problem with Tulsa. Auburn goes on the road, gets a win against Ole Miss. Alabama stomps Tennessee. Missouri and Memphis. Missouri 65, Memphis 33. Kentucky holds on at Vanderbilt 14-7. They couldn't produce any offense, and LSU really struggled against Mississippi State. And Mississippi State couldn't put any offense, so LSU wins at 19-3. Anything about last weekend stand out to you?
Yes, it does. The targeting call against number 40, Deion Jones, the best player on LSU's defense. That's going to be huge in the upcoming Alabama game.
Yeah, he's gone for the first half in that game, and
huge.
The targeting thing, you're almost tired of talking about it because nobody knows what it is. I've seen guys lean with their shoulders and get a targeting call, and a guy come in with his helmet and not get one. It's kind of like this silly stuff in the NFL with the quarterbacks.
Exactly. Somebody's
got to clean it up. I don't know where it's going to come from, if it's going to come from Steve Shaw's office or if it's going to come from pressure from the coaches or whatever, but they need to get it figured out. I mean, because it's almost like we all know what an obvious targeting cheap shot is.
I mean, if you lead with the crown of your helmet.
Right, sure.
Yeah, I mean, it looked like he barely hit the guy. I don't know. And that's what all the announcers say is it's so confusing of how you interpret it and what it, why does a kid get punished not only for the game he's in, but then the next game. That's stupid.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. That's stupid.
You put him out of the game maybe, and so many times this is not something that's intentional.
Right.
I mean, just going to make a tackle. I mean, but you're not calling targeting about a running back that runs into the line of scrimmage leading with his helmet.
Exactly.
Oh, it's insane.
It is insane.
Do something about it.
We sit there and watch football all the time and say, let's just put skirts on.
Yeah,
especially with the NFL thing.
It's flag football now.
Exactly.
Okay, so anyway. This week, Vanderbilt at Arkansas, not a lot of people to watch, 12 o'clock kickoff. I'm picking Arkansas to win in that game. Yourself?
Yeah, I would think so.
Okay, so next one's going to be Missouri at Kentucky week. But, Charlie and I are splitting on this. I say Kentucky. Not going to surprise me. I'm calling it the upset alert game of the weekend, but I'm not calling it upset. I'm not. You may. What do you think?
I listened to Stoops actually on the radio today, and he was talking about that exact thing about no way we're overlooking them to the Georgia game on the horizon, as you said, and
right.
Just trying to keep it even.
That's almost scary because the coach has got it on his mind.
Oh, yeah. Well, of course, that's all they ask him.
Yeah, that's what they wanted to ask him.
Pound it through his head, trying to get some feedback on it. But, yeah, I think Kentucky won. I hope they do. And hope we do. Of course, that will make that game the biggest game Kentucky's probably ever played.
Yeah,
in a long time.
Yeah, it'll make that a big game, and that game is at night at
in Lexington.
In Lexington at Crozier Field.
Field. That's it.
A&M and Mississippi State. Jimbo Fisher's got them playing number good, ranked number 16 in the country. I think Joe Moorhead's going to make a change at quarterback at Mississippi State.
He better.
And who would have thought Fitzgerald would get set down?
Oh, yeah.
He's ineffective. He cannot throw the football.
He throws it off his back foot. That last pick, I was watching the replay of that actually at the gym today, and that last pick, the guy was open. He leads him. It's a touchdown. He underthrows it, and the LSU guy makes a great sliding interception.
Yep.
But it was just the old back foot pass. He was, so on his back foot.
All right, Tennessee and South Carolina. Tennessee's got their signature win against Auburn this year. South Carolina.
What are their records? You got records?
I don't have their record in front of me. But
that'd be a toss-up for me if you.
Yeah, I think so too. It's at South Carolina. I think Muschamp is slowly. I mean, he's got some good recruits coming in next year over at South Carolina. They're just players away right now at South Carolina to me. They just don't have the players, but they're getting them. He'll get them. He's got some young freshmen on that football team and some redshirt freshmen. I think next year he's going to be a little bit more to deal with than he was this year. And then, of course, that covers everything except Alabama's off, Ole Miss is off, LSU is
the whole
off.
West is off.
And Auburn's off. Yeah, just about the whole West is off.
Besides, I guess A&M and Mississippi State, who you said you're playing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it. Everybody else is off. Okay, so we get down and we go to Jacksonville and we go to the Gator Bowl and it's the cocktail party and it's the Dogs in Florida. Get me started. What are your thoughts on this one?
I think it's going to be a heck of a game. We've certainly got a rebound after the debacle in Baton Rouge, and I think we will. I love the way you're calling it the world's largest outdoor cocktail party because I've been to at least a dozen myself, and that's what it is. I don't care about this political correctness or whatever. I don't even know what the nickname is now. I have no idea what the nickname is.
River City Showdown.
Are you serious?
That's what they're calling it, right?
And it's the same thing with the Texas-Oklahoma game. They've toned it down to whatever.
I've already done my diatribe this year on that one.
Okay. But anyway.
Stop messing with tradition. Stop it.
Exactly. Exactly. And people were on the radio today about, well, I want the dang game to be in Gainesville and Athens. I'm like, well, I like the way it is. It's just, it is tradition. But anyway, the ball game itself, I think it's going to be very physical. We're going to have to play so much better on both lines of scrimmage. We were just getting killed in the trenches. And we got to run the ball. Magazine, what does it say? Run the ball down the Gator's throat. And that is exactly what we're going to have to do.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt. I'm not for sure why Georgia's going away from the run. I wanted to go back and look. Let's look at where you're at statistically with your running back. Elijah Holyfield is the leading rusher. He's had 65 carries for 488 yards. He's averaging 7.5 yards a carry, but he's not getting.
He don't get the ball.
Yeah, he's not getting the ball. DeAndre Swift has had 71 carries. He's averaging 362 per carry. 362 yards, 5.1 a carry. Brian Herrion is 30 carries for 178 yards, and then Justin Fields and James Cook kind of wrap it up after that. Demetrius Robinson's done a little less than he's done 97 yards, but one
on one carry.
On 72 yards, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So,
I'm kind of wondering why they don't put him in the mix more. I don't know. I question Jim Chaney. Always have since he's been there, but.
Okay, listen, I'm gonna say this. I've heard that all week, and he's kind of been a whipping boy for Georgia folks. When the first year he was there, and Georgia had a bad season, went 7-5 that first year. You know what? What I saw last week on the field, I saw the players getting beat individually, and I saw Jake Fromm making bad decisions. And I'm not for sure that did Chaney call a bad play? Or was it Fromm making bad decisions?
I think.
He checked out of
mainly Fromm. Fromm had a horrible game. Let's face it.
He had a bad game, and there were some plays downfield where people were open that he did not see them in his progression, and I think he got a little bit of happy feet.
Right. I agree.
He started moving out of his pocket strength in that game, and. And then I've heard this week, the calls from some of the Georgia faithful, and it's time for Justin Fields. Jake Fromm ain't the man. I'm just telling you guys, and I know you don't think this way, but you've heard it with your constituents.
Sure.
They've already calling for Jake Fromm. He can't get the job done. Right. We heard that about Jacob Eason. A guy played an open game and hurt his knee in the first quarter, and Jake Fromm took over, and nobody ever wanted to see Jacob Eason back on the field again. It's a dangerous thing when you start getting into the mindset that the backup guy is always better than the starter.
Right.
And I don't think Kirby is there, and I don't think the majority of the Georgia fans are there yet. So, let's break it down a little bit. What do you think Jake Fromm has got to do in this game, in particular for himself against Florida, that's worried you a little bit this year and got maybe a little exposed against LSU?
Well, personally, I'd like to see. If we get the ball first, a couple of runs, definitely a play-action pass or whatever, just any kind of pass to get his confidence going. The kid is very resilient, man. He is a competitor. You know that. You followed him in high school here, local Middle Georgia area,
right?
And I love the kid. Everybody, Fields can do this. But I would like to see Fields a little more. Don't put him in for one play. If you're going to put him in, do like at Vandy for series.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he's played several full series against Vandy and ran the ball down their throat. You know, I mean, that's what everybody said the whole preseason was utilize Fields with some packages that can keep all the defensive coordinators completely on their heels.
Well, you know what, though? I mean, as little production as he's had, here's what he's done. He's had 25 attempts, 18 completions for a total of 200 yards, okay?
Which is basically a game.
Right, okay.
Three-quarters.
In 25 attempts, though, he's had 2 interceptions already, okay? On the rushing side of it, let me find him, 18 times for 136 yards. Most of that's come inside the 5-yard line on the read option for the touchdown plays.
Right.
So I kind of throw out the stats on the rushing with him. My question is, can a guy like Justin Fields, Jake Fromm, you look at him, I think he had problems picking up protection packages against LSU. Well, hell, if Jake Fromm's got problems picking them up, what's Justin Fields going to have?
You know, he's a year behind. I mean, no doubt.
It's a bigger, faster game. I don't know where this is going to end up, but you can bet the chorus is going to get louder if something goes wrong in Jacksonville this weekend. Okay, so next thing you got to do, let's go back to, you're talking about Jim Chaney several times in big games since Kirby's been there, and he's been there. Auburn game, Vanderbilt game 2 years ago, the game against LSU. Even the Auburn game last year over in Auburn, not so much the second half of the SEC championship game. What do you want to see them do with the running backs?
Again, just run it. I mean, just keep handing the ball off, especially at number 13, dude. He is a beast. Holyfield, he's a beast.
Yeah.
He's like his dad, man.
So with Holyfield, if he gets 20, 25 carries in this game, I don't see no way Georgia loses.
I don't either.
Absolutely. Swift gets 10, Herron gets 8, he gets 20.
Run the ball 40 times, throw it 25, whatever the mix is. Absolutely.
Right. 65 plays, and you do 2/3 of it.
Play a decent game on defense, I think we got it.
Yeah, I agree.
That would be my game plan. Absolutely.
That would be your game plan. Now, let's switch over to the Florida side of the ball. What scares you, if anything, about Florida's offense this year?
Well, Scarlett's a great back. I have, to be perfectly honest with you, have not watched him a lot.
Right.
Of course, Felipe Franks, he can make plays, but I agree with Charlie. I mean, you put some pressure on them defensively, I don't think they can do very well.
Yeah, I think they can run the football. They've got a stout defense that they can run. I think the other thing with them, too, is that obviously Dan Mullen is getting more out of Felipe Franks than McElwain was able to do.
Right. Agreed.
Yeah, but he's got 5 touchdowns on the year. He's thrown. I mean, if you look at Franks and Fromm, look at him. 100 completions.
It's pretty dang close.
It's almost exactly. Now he's had more attempts.
Right.
Fromm's only thrown it 48 times. He's thrown it 182.
Yardage is close, isn't it?
1409 for Fromm
and
1406.
I think the only thing Fromm's probably got is a little bit better completion ratio.
Yeah, he does. He's got a better completion ratio, but I think he's got better guys to throw it at too.
Well, absolutely.
But like you said, rushing the football. Perrin has kind of come up and done pretty good. Jordan Scarlett's still the guy, but they're averaging 5.5 yards a carry. But that's pretty good in the SEC if you can get 5.5 a clip.
Oh, yeah.
So what's Florida got opposed to Georgia this weekend to give them a problem?
Well, I think what makes me the most nervous is Florida's defense. Fast and physical. I mean, let's face it, they beat LSU. Of course, it was in the swamp, but they beat LSU, a team that spanked us. So, you try to – and that's kind of how I do my picks with you is I'll look at who's played who, points, scored and all that kind of stuff and kind of make a pick. But
hard to say this. Third year for Kirby. Third or fourth? Third year. He's got his pipeline going on his recruiting now.
Oh, absolutely.
But they're all young guys, and he lost a lot of guys on defense.
While it just hit my mind, somebody threw this out on ESPNU radio today. 70%. Think about this now. 70% of our team is freshmen and sophomores.
Right.
That's crazy.
It is crazy, and
it's crazy good actually.
Yeah,
down the road.
It is good because he's stacking up 4- and 5-star guys there. You know, at the beginning of the year, I picked Georgia to be a 9-3 football team. I thought that would be the letdown simply because I knew Fromm would be back. They were losing Michelle and Chubb. They were losing the wideout. They were losing 5 guys, 8 guys on defense.
Crazy. All of them are playing on Sunday night.
And
I watched every one of them.
And half of them are making an impact in the NFL.
I hate that Sonny Michelle got his knee hurt. But
I mean, it's at that level, it's going to hurt.
Yeah.
But, you know, I think
I thought 10-2 was probably what would be.
Yeah, I thought across the board that Georgia has probably got better depth, quality depth now, but they got no experience.
Right.
And I think that caught up with them a little bit.
That was exposed in Baton Rouge.
That was exposed in Baton Rouge. And listen, I'm not convinced LSU is a top-tier SEC team yet. I think they're I don't know. I watched.
I think they got an unbelievable defense. The offense has been good enough to win the games they've won.
Right. Their offense struggles though.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But they look like game beaters against us because we couldn't get them off the field.
Right. Well, listen, I don't care if it's Alabama's defense or Auburn's or Georgia's defense, and those are Clemson, and all 3-4 of those are as good as anybody in the country. Just like Auburn's defense. They played Mississippi State. They played 43 minutes on defense during the game.
That's on.
I don't care who you are. If you're the New York Giants out there doing that, you're going to get beat.
Oh, yeah.
You can't leave those guys on the field that long.
No, absolutely.
That's
what we got to do Saturday. Not a lot of these 3 and outs because that's what kills you.
That's what
your defense goes off the field and they're back on the field 2 minutes later. That just can't happen.
Okay, so give me a wrap-up of what you think is actually going to happen on Saturday, and then we'll take your pick.
I think it's going to be definitely a 4-quarter game. I think it's going to be a great game. It is the featured game. I can't believe that ESPN Game Day and SEC Nation are both there. Be interesting to see where each show goes and all the fans are going to be or whatever. So that's exciting to have Game Day there. We were hoping they'd be in Baton Rouge, but they skipped it. But they will be in Jacksonville, so that's going to be a great way to kick off the day. If you've never been and you're a Georgia or a Florida fan, you need to go. It needs to be a bucket list trip.
Sure.
Again, I've been there a gazillion times. It's been a long time, but
right, you got to go once
absolutely.
to a Georgia-Florida game.
Absolutely.
And preferably pick a year when they're both pretty damn good.
Just like that's a great point. This is number 7 against number 9. It's the biggest Georgia-Florida game in years, several years.
Right.
And I think that's going to be very hyped, and they're going to be really excited. Both teams were off, which is the key. Both had a bye week. We've still got lots of guys injured and out, but it's part of the ball game. But I do think it's going to be. I think it's going to be a great game, especially if you're a neutral fan to watch on the CBS. With my boys Brad and Gary.
Yeah. All right, so give me your pick. I've already got it, but tell the folks out there listening what you picked for this week.
And it's funny because the over and under is just throwing on a little tidbit in here is 52, and that's exactly the amount of points of my pick, which I picked, of course, the Dogs 28-24.
All right, then the other one tonight, and I think it's going to be a great game down at Paulson Stadium in Statesboro.
Looking forward to going home shortly and watching it.
Yeah, absolutely. App State, ranked number 25. I got to watch Troy play on Tuesday night. Enjoyed watching that game. They beat South Alabama. Chad Lunsford's done a great job at Georgia Southern now that he's come in.
I haven't, since the kids went to school there years ago, I've just kind of quit following it. And next thing I know, they're 6-1.
Yeah, they're bowl eligible.
Right, and of course their loss was to Clemson.
But, right.
In App State,
their only loss was
Penn State
in the fourth quarter with 3 minutes to go.
They had them fuckers, right? Absolutely.
So what you think is going to happen down at
I forget what I even picked, but I did pick App State. I think what I did was they're in the same conference, and there was like either 2 or 3 common opponents. Yeah, one of them was Texas State.
Right.
Southern beats by 2 points. App State beat them like by 5 touchdowns, and that mean nothing, of course. But
yeah, I think Southern's piled up a few injuries that's hurt them, and they're one of their starting running backs is out. Their starting linebacker is out. Quarterback's kind of banged up in his midsection. I've heard he's got a cracked rib.
Oh, wow.
But, if the student body shows up down at Paulson tonight, it ought to be a lot of fun. Maybe a 4-quarter football game. And it would be it's the biggest game at Southern in a long time.
Oh, absolutely. And there's like 5 games tonight. I'm looking forward to watching that, and I think Baylor and West Virginia, I'll put an eye on that a little bit.
That's tonight, too.
Yeah, I forget who else is playing. It's wild to have a big 12 game on Thursday night. But
all right, before I let you go, give me an idea of let's talk about your Atlanta Falcons. 3-4.
3-4.
3-4. my opinion, the offense is playing well enough to have a much better record than they've got
well,
right
I mean,
now.
dude, we are absolutely decimated on defense.
Right.
There's like 5 starters out for the year. It's crazy. Then when they lost another offensive lineman against the Giants, that was a good game. We near about gave it away, but I agree. If with a better defense, I mean, we'd be a playoff team because the offense can go.
Yeah, and I'm not for sure that, hopefully some of these guys can get back on defense because that has been their Achilles heel. They've lost some really close games.
Absolutely.
I mean, the New Orleans game and
the 3 and 4 could easily be 5 and 2.
I agree. Or 6 and 1.
Absolutely.
But at least 5 and 2, in my opinion, is where they ought to be right now. All right, it's going to be fun this weekend. You're going to be around the house and.
Oh yeah, we got several people coming over for the Georgia-Florida party as we always have, and look forward to it.
All right, so you're going to
cool weather. Going to have a little fire pit going.
Yeah, a little fire going. Finally, football weather, and then
absolutely.
Dog Deck Live going to be. What time are you going to go?
We're going to go live about 2:30.
About 2:30, and you can find him right there on Facebook at Dog Deck Live. All right, brother, it's great to have you.
Thanks, you man. Appreciate it.
Yep. All right, we're going to take a break. We'll come back and we'll get us another guest picker in here for tonight. And remember, your calls 478-550-0524. We're picking Georgia and Florida. That's the pick'em contest this week. We'll take a timeout, and when we come back, we'll get your.
Planning on a holiday party with friends, family, or coworkers? Texas Border Grill's private banquet room offers seating from 5 to 55. Lunch to dinner 7 days a week. Featuring an amazing menu with aged beef, seafood, and so many other signature dishes. Texas Border Grill.
Is your house having a midlife crisis? Maybe it's time for a nip and tuck. Cherokee Brick has been transforming interiors and exteriors for over 100 years. Where you see a blank wall or old porch, we see potential. Add warmth and elegance to your home with an updated entryway, porch, or kitchen. At Cherokee Brick, we cut out the middleman and provide a robust selection of colors and sizes to fit your brick needs. Visit us online to find out more about where you can purchase Cherokee Brick, straight from the manufacturer.
The most interesting man in seafood is Captain Lee of Kudzu Seafood Company. Captain Lee brought the Gulf Coast to Middle Georgia without getting any sand in his Speedo. At Kudzu Seafood Company, Captain Lee's oysters shuck themselves out of respect for him, throwing themselves as tribute into hot oil until golden brown. Served as a kudzu po' boy, their final resting place being a casket of French bread flown in from Louisiana's famous Gambinos. Captain Lee uses his signature remoulade sauce to actually sign his name on each po' boy, a signature of his approval. Sit back and relax while enjoying a cold craft beer at Kudzu Seafood Company, located at 473rd Street in Macon. Stay coastal, my friends.
At Bill Harden Music, our specialty is private music lessons. We teach all ages: guitar, piano, drums, violin, banjo, brass and woodwinds, voice, and more. It's easy to get started and only $80 per month. Come to our store once a week for your private lesson. Be an MVP and sign up today. Call 781-1112 or go to BillHardenMusic.com.
Oh my, what a pizza pie! Take one bite and you'll say it too. In fact, take one bite of anything they cook at Zoner's Pizza Joint and they've got you. You will immediately taste the difference because they make their dough daily. Use only the finest cheese and top quality meats. Zoner's even cuts their vegetables fresh daily. Combine all that on a crisp crust taste of a stone oven, and in between bites, you'll say, oh my, what a pizza pie! Zoner's Pizza Joint, Forsyth Road, Macon, and Houston Lake Road, Warner Robins.
To be the best, you need the best in hydration and nutrition. You need VitaFuse Sport IV Nutrition.
Hello, I'm Joy Johnson at the Cottages on Wesleyan, inviting you to come see our spacious assisted living suites. Each suite has its own kitchenette, private bathroom, separate bedroom, and living space. We provide meals, housekeeping and laundry services, personal care assistance, and a variety of daily activities. Come by and visit us soon. You'll see why our residents feel at home and why families trust their loved ones to us at the Cottages on Wesleyan.
How do you say, my attorney met with me personally?
Thanks, Lester.
Thanks, Lester.
How do you say, I got the compensation I deserve?
Thanks, Lester. Thanks, Lester.
How do you say, I won my court case?
Thanks, Lester.
谢谢 Lester.
Thanks, Lester. You're a good man.
I am Lester Miller, and I will get you the compensation you deserve.
Thanks, Lester.
He ain't afraid of no one.
Wheezing, itching, runny nose, and coughing. All these symptoms can be caused by allergies, which are very common in Middle Georgia. Airborne allergens can make it difficult to enjoy life around here, like tailgating or attending a ball game. Even that seasonal cold might be due to allergies. Give us a chance to fix that. It's what we do. With multiple locations in and around Macon, we help children and adults with allergies and asthma. We want to be your Middle Georgia allergy team.
Macon Boots is the newest addition to Midtown Macon. With brands like Rocky, Ariete, Georgia Boots, and more, Macon Boots can help you find the boots you're looking for with unbeatable prices. Whether it's boots for work, everyday wear, or maybe boots are just your thing, we have a whole selection from America, Canada, and Australia. While you're here, make sure to check out our authentic belt buckles, handmade knives, genuine leather wallets, and much more that you can only find at Macon Boots. We fit Macon.
Crosby Roofing is more than just a roofing company. It's a family-owned company with deep roots in Middle Georgia. Since 1989, Crosby Roofing has been the source of quality roofing in Middle Georgia. Inspections and estimates are always free, commercial or residential. No job is too big or too small. You can trust Crosby Roofing for a clean job site, no upfront fees, and a lifetime warranty on shingles. Discounts for senior citizens. Crosby Roofing, quality you can look up to.
Do you want to win? Do you want to crush the competition? Do you really want it? To be the best, you need the best in nutrition. You need VitaFuse Sport. VitaFuse Sport provides IV hydration, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids for serious athletes. Our infusions are nearly 100% absorbed compared to only 20% of oral supplements. So whether you are trying to win a championship, set a new personal best, or just want to perform better and recover faster, VitaFuse Sport was developed for you.
I am Lester Miller, and if you've been in an accident or hurt on the job, I want to work for you. My office is right across the street from the Bibb County Courthouse, and it doesn't end there. Middle Georgia is my home. I graduated from high school here, college, and Mercer Law School. My family goes to church here. My kids go to school here. I work hard for my community, and when you need an attorney, I will personally take your call.
Thanks, Lester.
And I will work hard for you too.
Contact Lester Miller today for your free consultation.
Wheezing, itching, runny nose, and coughing. All these symptoms can be caused by allergies, which are very common in Middle Georgia. Airborne allergens can make it difficult to enjoy life around here, like tailgating or attending a ball game. Even that seasonal cold might be due to allergies. Give us a chance to fix that. It's what we do. With multiple locations in and around Macon, we help children and adults with allergies and asthma. We've teamed with Mercer, and we'd be happy to team with you. Go Bears!
Crosby Roofing is more than just a roofing company. It's a family-owned company with deep roots in Middle Georgia. Since 1989, Crosby Roofing has been the source of quality roofing in Middle Georgia. Inspections and estimates are always free, commercial or residential. No job is too big or too small. You can trust Crosby Roofing for a clean job site, no upfront fees, and a lifetime warranty on shingles. Discounts for senior citizens. Crosby Roofing, quality you can look up to.
You can tell everything you need to know about a man by the boots he wears. They tell his story. They let you know he works hard and plays hard. Macon Boots at 3182 Vineville Avenue carries Georgia Boot, Redback, Rocky, Durango, and more. From safety toe, chemical proof, waterproof, and snake proof to hunting, casual, and western, Macon Boots delivers only the highest quality in boots, belts, wallets, and hats to help tell any man's story. Open Monday through Saturday from 9 to 6. Follow Macon Boots on Facebook and at maconboots.com. Macon Boots. We fit Macon.
And welcome back on a Thursday night. We're live from Zoner's Pizza on Forsyth Road. I want to thank Charles Crowley for being here with us tonight. Don't want to forget, look at this. How about that? It's a signed postcard from Zoners and Mr. Herschel Walker, number 34. So why am I showing you that? Well, because you got to come in, Order in and take out, either one, not delivery. Come in. You can register for, we got that blackout Herschel Walker jersey, Soldier Boy, all that good stuff. But you can win 2 Thursday nights from now. We're going to do the drawing for the Herschel Walker jersey. You just got to come in and ask for it, and they'll get you signed up. I want to thank Brett Barron. He stopped by to give us his insights on his trip to Baton Rouge last week to see the Dogs go down in flames in Baton Rouge. But we've got a whole new slate of games coming up this week in the SEC, and we'll run over those with you one more time if I can find them here. Vanderbilt is at Arkansas, 12 o'clock on SEC Network. Kentucky is at Missouri. That's a 4 o'clock game. That's my upset alert game. Texas A&M takes on Mississippi State. That's an ESPN game at 7 o'clock. Tennessee is at South Carolina at 7:30. That is a SEC Network. And the CBS game, of course, is the cocktail party as the Gators take on Georgia Bulldogs. Georgia will be the home team, so the Dogs will be all in red. Get the picture now, Dogs in red. You love it, don't you?
It's terrible.
Gonna bring in the old Blue Hoe himself, Jim Harden. Welcome in, sir. How are you?
Thank you, sir. Good. How are you?
I'm good. Let me turn you up a little bit so all your fans can hear out there in Bulldog land.
All my fans.
Okay, last week, Arkansas wins. Auburn finally gets a win. Alabama crushes Tennessee. Missouri outscores Memphis. LSU hangs on against the in-out Mississippi State offense, and Kentucky struggles in Vanderbilt. Anything surprised you last week? Kentucky and Vanderbilt really kind of surprised me a little bit.
They did me too. Kentucky, I don't know. It'll be interesting. Who's Kentucky got this week?
Kentucky's got to go to Columbia.
Yeah, that's right.
Columbus, rather.
Columbia, Missouri.
No, Columbus, Missouri. Isn't it Columbus?
It's Columbia.
Columbia, Missouri. I'm sorry. That's right, Columbia.
Yeah, that's.
And they take on the Tigers up there. Drew Lock's starting to hit his stride a little bit. Finally threw some touchdown passes last week. He struggled some this year throwing touchdown passes. Thinking too much about the NFL, maybe? I don't know what's going on with him.
Well, Derek Dooley. You know, Dooley will screw up an offense.
That's right. Dooley is the offensive coordinator up there this year. Hold on. Go ahead. Continue with yourself. I'm getting my tea.
It'll be fun if Kentucky can figure out a way to beat them. That game next week, I guess, do they play Georgia next week?
Yes, it's Georgia next week in Lexington at night at Kroger Field.
At night. The Georgia fans like to emphasize how tough it is to play Kentucky and Vandy at night.
It is. It's tough. I mean, ask the Gators. The Gators have struggled up there at Lexington at night. You can go all the way back to the Vince Dooley era, though.
The Gators beat them like 50 in a row, haven't they?
Yeah. Well, not this year. They beat them this year. But, I mean, there's been some crazy games up there. LSU and Kentucky had 2 crazy games up there in the early 2000s. Kentucky fans were rushing the field one day and they threw a touchdown pass on a Hail Mary it just crushed their ass.
That's when they had the big quarterback who was bigger than all the linemen.
What was his name?
Jared Lorenzen.
Jared Lorenzen. God, he was huge. He's playing arena football still.
Is he?
He's huge. He's twice the size he was at Kentucky.
I remember my daddy's famous quote about him was, it'd be bad if your quarterback, if you was an offensive lineman, your quarterback was big enough to whip you.
And he was. I don't know if he was tough enough, but, yeah, he's playing arena football, or was up until a couple of years ago. Kentucky and Missouri, kind of, that's a game and Missouri's an 8-point favorite or something like that.
I saw that. That's why it made me think about it.
All right, so before we get to the cocktail party, with your words of wisdom about that game, I'm sure you'll have some incendiary remarks to say about that for the Georgia faithful. But Auburn goes on the road to Ole Miss, holds Ole Miss to 9, 3 field goals. They scored with the last 4 minutes of the game to score a touchdown, but Auburn gets the win 31-16. Thoughts on that game, and what does that do about the atmosphere in Auburn?
I don't think it changes anything. I think they go, you get beat by. I don't want to say it doesn't change anything, but if they lay an egg with A&M next week, it's going to be the same.
Right back in the
sentiment.
Same boat. Yep. Must-win game for Gus last weekend on the road at Ole Miss. I think it may have, regardless of what happens the next 4 games with A&M Georgia, Liberty, and Alabama. Did that save his job?
Well, I don't know if it saved his job, but I mean, losing it might have been the nail in the coffin.
I agree. I think if he lost to Ole Miss last weekend, I don't think he wins at Texas A&M, and there's no way he wins at Alabama and Tuscaloosa or Athens against Georgia. So every week now he's under a lot more pressure. Did you really think Auburn played that much better last week? Did they look like they had changed anything or made things better? I know now Booby Whitlow had a great game, but he's got a banged-up shoulder. Now he's got a banged-up leg of some kind. Well, he rushed for 165 yards.
Well, that's what I was about to say. That part, it looked better, but, I mean, you got to think who your competition was. I don't know. I know Ole Miss I think they got a pretty good record, but they're not they're not.
They were 5-2 going into last week.
But they're not. I don't think they're very good. I don't think that tells you anything really about Auburn.
Their defense is horrible.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing about Ole Miss. They can't play defense. All right, looking ahead to this week, Auburn's off, Alabama's off, LSU's off, and Ole Miss is off. Mississippi State does play Texas A&M. Texas A&M, Mississippi State, anything? Jimbo wouldn't blow that one, would he?
I don't know. It'll be it's kind of like Georgia, Florida. You know, it'll be interesting to see what Georgia does coming off a loss. Mississippi State kind of laid an egg last week at LSU.
Does Moorhead change quarterbacks down there?
Yeah, he ain't gonna change quarterbacks.
Okay,
guys.
The guy can't throw. He can't hit a bull in the ass with a baseball.
Well, they don't care. He don't care. But
30 attempts, 53 yards last week.
Yeah, I'm not a big State guy. Although they got a lot in common with a lot of their alumni. You know, kind of being a country person. But it'll be interesting to see
that's the commonality.
That's right. Okay. Yeah. We all from the country.
Yeah.
But if they come bounce back and play well, and if they were to beat A&M, that'd be pretty cool for them. You know, to bounce back. But right. I don't know that. I don't think that's going to happen.
A&M looking ahead maybe to Auburn? Could be a little factor.
I don't think A&M's worried about Auburn. I wouldn't.
Who the hell's looking ahead to Auburn? Right? Looking ahead to Auburn. Who?
Yeah.
Who's doing that? Liberty might be.
Yeah, that's right.
Liberty gave somebody a good game 2 weeks ago.
I don't know who it is. All I know is
Jerry Caldwell laid his hands on him from the grave, didn't he?
He did. It might have been played the Blue Hose.
It might have been the Blue Hose they played. All right, before we get into Georgia, Florida, how about this game with Georgia Southern and App State tonight?
I don't know. You know, man.
Get you a little Eagle Creek water and get in there.
I ain't never been a big Georgia Southern guy. I don't have a clue. I will probably watch it when I get home, but
they ain't Detroit Trojans, are they?
No, you can't. You know, they ain't really the Blue Hose either. I mean, you know, it's just a different deal.
You know, biggest game in Georgia Southern in a while, though, without a doubt. 5-1. Their App State's ranked number 25, 24, maybe 25. I know. Georgia Tech gets bowl eligible for. Well, the first year they made the leap, they were bowl eligible that year, but they couldn't go because it was their first year in the league, so they wouldn't allow them to go to a bowl. But, you know, Chad Lunsford finally gets the job midway through the season after 4 games last year. Longtime Georgia Southern guy. He's been there several stints, but he's got them playing well. I mean, the only loss they have this year is to Clemson. But App State should be undefeated because they should have beat Penn State opening weekend.
If I'm not mistaken, their quarterback, Wirtz, is from Clinton, the T silent, Clinton, South Carolina, which is also the home of the Blue Hose. So
I got you.
They might get it done.
They let him get one away.
They
let one get away, rather. Talked to Terry Harvin earlier. He said they're a little banged up. Running backs out. Quarterbacks playing with cracked ribs. Linebackers out. Their defense going to have to find a way tonight because they're facing a really potent offense in App State. And, it's a pretty big rivalry between those two. I would say with Southern, that's probably their biggest rival. And the Whoppers and the Furmans and some of the others, they're probably the only one that's come close to having the success when they were in the Southern Conference that Georgia Southern had.
That's right. And say it's starting to rain. I listened to the radio, the pregame show says it's starting to rain down there, so might be like the Hugo Bowl again.
Yeah, he might have to. They just need a couple of mutters at that A and B back slot, and they might get it done. All right, on to the cocktail party. Tell me about your thoughts about it and what's Florida got to do. We'll start with them, and then what's Georgia got to do.
I don't know. You know, again, Georgia coming off a loss. I think that's interesting. Florida, they both got an off week. You know, I think throughout that history of that rivalry, there's been you know, time periods where one school would have an off week and the other one didn't, and vice versa. And that's kind of been a factor in who won the game. But both got an off week. Florida coming off a victory, Georgia coming off a loss. I think Florida's got to score. I can almost see them losing the game and maybe their offense not doing what it needs to do to score. I think you know, Georgia obviously has some question marks coming off the game last week with LSU with their offense. But if I had to put money on, I hope the Gators win. If I had to put money on it, if I had to bet, I'd bet on Georgia. I really think they're going to win the game. But it'll be interesting. You know, it'll be those Georgia fans. They'll sort of be like the Democrats if the Republicans. You know, keep the house in a couple of weeks. They'll be screaming and crying and whining if the Gators get them.
You picked this game 28-24. If it's a lower scoring game, I think that bodes better for Florida than Georgia.
I think you may be right. I hope, you know, and I'm kind of kidding. I've always been kind of a closet Gator fan. I love Spurrier, but I hope it'll be interesting to see if Dan Mullen gets the guys. You know, he was on Urban Meyer's staff,
right?
But it almost seemed like I don't know. It just seemed. I guess living in Georgia almost seemed like the rivalry had a little more, and it lost a little of its zest because Florida dominated them so long,
right?
But it's a big game for Florida. You know, I think it's big for their program if they win. I think Georgia probably not. You know, it'll be interesting to see how.
It's big for the momentum that Mullen's trying to build down there.
Yeah, and if Georgia, you know, it may say a little bit of something about Georgia and Kirby and that regime if they lose. You know, great. You know, I talked about this a lot. Great coaches, they don't lose 2 ball games in a row. I mean, You look back at it. I don't think Urban Meyer's ever lost 2 in a row. And, I mean, Spurrier, the Saban, I mean, you don't want to be a big-time college football player and have to go to practice the week after you're on a highly ranked team and you lose a game.
Right.
It ain't fun.
Can you imagine what it's like at Ohio State? What it was like for Ohio State, the assistant coaches this week?
No.
Sunday.
It's torture. I mean, that's the worst. I mean, these coaches, they give it you know, they say all the right things in the media, but they literally take it out on those players. They make it so that, you know, they want to make it so hard that when that next game comes, it's like a cakewalk when they go out there and do their thing. And that's. I mean, I guess it's kind of what you got to do in a way. But if Georgia bounces back and plays really good, that'll be good for them. But if they don't, it'll be fun to listen to talk radio next week.
Well, it'll be entertaining to say the least, and stay away from the Pickling Building downtown.
That's right.
Because the bandwagon faithful will be jumping off. All kidding aside, and we have fun doing this, and Jim and I are both Auburn guys, and we freely admit that, and but we got a lot of close friends that are Alabama and Georgia people, and we take our deathbed when Auburn plays and loses to Alabama and loses to Georgia, and we can relate to the Georgia fans if they lose to Auburn and Florida. Yeah, and the one thing in Georgia's schedule that I want to see happen. And I've talked about this, is I want to see the Georgia Tech rivalry with Georgia come back. And one reason I want to see that come back, they've got their big game with Florida and their big game with Auburn. Auburn's always had their big game with Georgia and Alabama and LSU. I need that Georgia Tech rivalry to come back, and it's been missing for a long, long time. And that's another subject for another day when we get to good old-fashioned hate week, and we will talk about that and the future of Paul Johnson possibly and that. I picked Georgia to be a 9-3 football team at the beginning of the year. I thought that LSU Auburn would be two of them that would give them trouble. I didn't know where the third one was going to come from. I thought possibly that Muschamp might be ready for primetime this year at South Carolina. Obviously, he's not. I think that may be a different game in Athens next year with some of the talent that Muschamp's got coming in. But Muschamp's still got to prove he can get it done as a head football coach, too. He has not done that as of yet, in my opinion. But I think he's starting to build some momentum in South Carolina. And, you know, over there, it's not easy to recruit in South Carolina. We've talked about the dynamics of Georgia, Florida, Alabama, and Auburn, how Auburn shouldn't be able to recruit with Georgia and Florida and Alabama. It's even tougher over in Columbia, South Carolina.
It is. Spurrier, you know, they improved their facilities and all that under Spurrier, and he proved you could get the best players in the state, and you know, he got the Clownies and those guys. He started getting them, but people, I tell you what I didn't realize until I lived over there in the state of South Carolina. Football over there is a lot more important than I realized at the grassroots level, the high school level. You go to people over there love football. You go to a high school game in South Carolina on a Friday night, and it's no different than if you're in Georgia, Alabama, or wherever. I mean, they're good. Right. They love it, and I think that's maybe a little bit of an intangible advantage. I mean, look how good Clemson is. You know, they get a lot of their kids from in-state.
The Clemson phenomenon, I know they had the Danny Ford years, which, you know, maybe the jury's out on what I thought about what Danny Ford and how he did it over there, but he had success. He won a national championship, but he couldn't sustain it. It wasn't there long enough. Dabo now is starting to sustain it a little bit. You know, and just as Gus is facing Kirby at Georgia, where Auburn's always got a lot of Georgia players, he's facing Saban north of him up there. Is some of Muschamp's success going to be based on how long Dabo stays there? I say yes. I think it's a big problem for him, and it's a problem for North Carolina State and North Carolina as well too. As long as that Clemson program's better, the South Carolina people probably believe though that, hey, you know, like the Alabama people or the Georgia people, you know, Tech and Auburn and Clemson are supposed to be little brother.
Well, they are.
And they're not supposed to have the success before we do.
Well, but it hadn't been like that in South Carolina. And Alabama, you know, Auburn has been kind of a little brother a little bit. But Clemson's historically been better in South Carolina. But the other thing people don't realize, inside the state, the University of South Carolina, I mean, that's the flagship, you know, South Carolina people. Sure. That's a university that people, you know, if you don't have somebody to pull for, you associate yourself with a lot of times.
Yeah, the sidewalk alumni.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so bringing this full circle now that we've got off on everybody else in the SEC, back to the Georgia-Florida game. In all seriousness, you know a lot about football. You and I talked over the weekend. We watched this game together. The Georgia-LSU game, to me, and I've heard rumbling from Georgia folks about Jim Chaney and his play calling. My two observations of the game, Jake Fromm missed a lot of his progressions. He missed some of his reads. But the bottom line, some of that came from pressure from LSU's defense because I thought Georgia got beat at the line of scrimmage by LSU's defensive line and LSU's offensive line. And you can talk about Jake Fromm should have thrown 3 more touchdown passes. Well, you know, that's easy to look at when you can sit there and pause the game film and look at it and see this guy was open and he missed him. And, you know, I don't know what the read was on that play or whatever, but same token, LSU kicked 3 or 4 field goals. It could have been at least 2 or 3 of those should have been touchdowns, easy touchdowns to me that they blew because of their play calling, because I don't think LSU is as good offensively probably as Georgia. In a 5-game period of time, I just think that Georgia's got a better offense. But did Jake Fromm miss some stuff last week, or what did you see as the key to Georgia getting beat last week?
I just don't think they played well on the road. I mean, they got a young team, and you know, football is the ultimate team game. There's a lot of things going on. That's why I try, you know, I've been watching a long time, but I try real hard not to act like I know too much because a lot of stuff, a lot of reverse engineering going on out there. You know, everybody's, you know, right. That's right. I think offenses, coaches now outsmart themselves a lot of times instead of thinking, okay, I'm going to do what I do well.
Guess who? I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, but I'm trying to anticipate what the defense thinks I'm going to do. And, you know, sometimes they outsmart themselves. I think LSU, they're always very athletic. And I think Georgia, some of those young players just got challenged by some guys that could run as fast and were just as strong as they were. And it's just one of them things, man. It happens.
All right, so Gator Bowl this weekend. Your final thought? What final thoughts on it? What do you think is going to happen?
Well, like I said, I hope the Gators. I think Georgia will win by a touchdown probably. If I had, like I said, I ain't got.
Yeah, if I was a betting man, that I'd probably agree with you. All right, Zoner's Pizza. Live here tonight on Forsyth Road to Pick'em Talent Contest. You still got time to get your pick in there. The number is on the screen, 478-550-0524. Don't forget, tomorrow night, our Zoner's Pizza game of the week will be live at First Presbyterian Day School as they'll take on the Tatnall Square Academy Trojans tomorrow in Game 9 of the high school football season. That's hard to believe. Hard to believe that.
It's hard to believe. I mean, Tatnall's going to be playing for the. No matter what happens tomorrow, they're going to play Greene County for the region championship next week.
That's right. They'll show up the sub-region tomorrow, and I think that's correct, right? Yeah, they
win or lose. I think they're sub-region champs.
They've got it. That's right, because they're undefeated. And no, Mountain Sal's only got one loss,
but they beat them head to head. So
they beat them head to head. You're right. So they've got it. So
they got to play them Greene County Tigers. They're bad, wet, or dry.
Yes, they are. Okay. At any rate, pregame will be 7:15 tomorrow night. Kickoff will be at 7:30. We're going to get out of here tonight. Thank you for everybody that came in. Jim, Charlie, Brad, Brett Barron, he came in. A lot of picks this week. Still got time to get your pick in. You got till 5 o'clock tomorrow on the Georgia-Florida game, the world's largest outdoor cocktail party. That's going to do it. We're going to wrap it up from Zona's Pizza here on Forsyth Road. We'll see you tomorrow night, everybody. Our time is up. We thank you for yours. Thank you. That was